Hey, business owners. My name is Lunta Di La Paulo. I'm the managing director of Yeto Accounting and Tax PLLC. I'm thrilled to have you here because I want to show you the inside of what our first meeting with business owners like you look like when we are approaching an exit planning engagement. What is that meeting looks like when business owners decide, hey, I want work with you. I want you to help me to be my transition would look like. What do we need to do to get the business in a place where we think it should be, so that we can have a viable business that can be transitioned to other people. Okay, so I'm gonna be spending maybe 10 to 15 minutes max to show you what is that first meeting really looks like with our client, with our prospects. Okay, so let me share quickly my screen here with you so that I can show you what we go through with prospects. The first thing that I want you to understand is that we look at three primary areas. Okay, the owner transition readiness, the business transition readiness, and the last area is the transition readiness. Okay, so in the owner transition readiness, we really want to understand whether the owner, him or herself, is ready to transition, to leave the business, to step aside, to let somebody else to take over the business. Okay. So number one, are you personally and financially prepared to let go and to move on? Right. Some people have an idea that, hey, I'm ready, I wanna get out of here, but often they don't really know what it's that going to look like. What does it take to actually be successful in that? Do you have a personal plan that defines how much money you need from the sale to retire or to move on? Right. The third question is similar to that. Do you have a set target exit in mind? Do you have a range of date, or do you have a hard date that you absolutely need to exit? Right. We're not talking about a situation where life is pushing you out. We're not absolutely need to sell as quick as possible. We're talking about somebody who maybe have a little bit of time. They're thinking about retiring maybe in the next 3 5 years. Okay, something like that. Have you identified your most likely successor or buyer of the business? Okay, very important question. Do you have post exit plan? What are you going to be doing once you sell, once you pass the business to your kids, right? What are you going to be doing if you say on a play golf? That's not really a well thought plan, because we know from experience people get bored from the amount of time they get that after they sell a business, right? So these and other questions, right, help us determine whether or not the seller himself or the business owner is ready to transition. The second is around the business readiness itself. We want to make sure you actually have a viable business. You actually have, a strong asset that will command value in the marketplace. So let's begin with the financial and operational readiness, right? Is your business ready from the standpoint of its financial position, right? We're not even talking about profitability and cash flow. We're just talking purely about, do you have clean records, right? Can somebody actually look at your records and be able to make decisions? So here's some of these questions, right? Do you have clean reconciled books and timely financial statements, right? Are they produced on a monthly basis, right? Is your bookkeeping consistent with personal and business transaction clearly separated, right? No commingling here. uh, do you have monthly financial reports? Are your financials in line with industry benchmark for revenue growth, margins, and cash flow? Right? Are your tax filing accurate and aligned with your books? We're talking about no material discrepancies, right? Can you produce reports for customers, vendors, and employee data with confidence? Are your expenses and especially owner compensation clearly documented and normalized? Right. Some of these questions we go into greater detail when the owner doesn't understand what it means. But for the sake of time, we're just gonna be moving here at the speed of light. Legal structure and tax readiness. Right. Is your entity structured to optimize your tax outcome? Right. It's important to understand that the price you sell the business is not the cash you end up with on hand, right? So it's important to understand what's the after tax you're actually gonna be left with, right? And is your business structured in a way that will facilitate that? Are your corporate records updated and organized? Do you have written agreements, right, for partners, for employees, especially if you have partners? What is the succession exit, right? Clauses looks like. Have you assessed your potential tax liability if you plan to sell the business? Have you spoken with a CPA or tax advisor during your pre-sale period? Right, it's important to do that. Risk management. Could you step aside your business for 90 days and the operation continue without, falling apart? Do you have a middle management? Do you have key employees who can continue running the business? Uh, are important customer relationship dependent on your presence in the business? Do you have a diversified, right, client base? Do you have signed contract with clients, vendors, employees, and so forth? Do you have a contingency plan, right? A succession plan in place? Uh, let's talk about the attractiveness of your business, right? So, the important thing here, right? We mark a lot of these, yes, no, no. Most business owner. Let me just go back here, right? Uh, some business owners say yes, they're ready. Most don't know how much money they need, so I'm gonna put that no. So we recommend them to talk with a financial advisor. Most people don't have an idea of the time range for them to exit. They have no clue who would be the most likely successor, right? They haven't spoken with family about their transition. They are not really clear about what their post-exit plan, right? Sometimes they're not emotionally prepared for their exit, right? They haven't really met with other professionals regarding their post-exit scenario, right? And they don't, they still have a lot of their tax situation under control. And then on the business side of things, right? Most business owners, it's gonna be again a lot of no, a lot of no's here, right? A lot of no's. Sometimes there is, an occasional yes here, right? Are your current tax accurate and aligned with books? Gonna put a yes here, right? Another yes here. Often the owner compensation is not properly documented, neither normalized, right? Entity structure it's almost never optimized for tax efficiency when it comes to sell. A lot of them have good corporate documents, no really good agreement with partners there. you know Many business owners haven't really assessed their tax liability on the sales proceeds. Many don't have any succession plan whatsoever that help them reduce their tax liability. Many haven't even spoken with a CPA regarding their plan to sell. All right, risk management wise, some of them I would just give them a. The truth is, most businesses are not even capable of being run without the owner. So I'm gonna put it in no there. Very few have middle management in place. Um, Key relationships sometimes no longer rely on the owner only. Revenue is somewhat diversified. key contract are present, no key person insurance or contingency plan available, backups. We seldom see these as well. Business value, right? Have your revenue, profit, and cash flow been stable and growing the past 2 to 3 years? More often than not, we see a yes there. Do you have recurring revenue and long-term contract? We see a yes there. Keep track of KPIs. We see a lot of no's. Are your margins in line of industry? Most business owners actually don't know that. Um, have you invested in brand, digital presence? It's a little bit more common to see yes here. Do you have a, SOPs, automation, system? A lot of no's here. Do you know the current market value of your business? A lot of no's here. If you had a business valuation in the past 2 years, a lot of no's here as well, right? So the total business readiness here is again very low. On the transaction side, right? Most business owner actually score poorly in this regard as well. Are you ready to initiate and close a deal confidently and quickly? No, most business owners are not ready, unfortunately. Do you have a SEM, right, a pitch deck or buyer package prepared? It's a no here. Uh, it's, I would say, maybe 95% of the time no. Have you identified or begin pre-screening potential buyer? Often is no. Do you have a team of advisors in place? Also no. Have you thought through potential deal terms? Most business owners have no clue what's that. Are your due diligence documents organized and ready for buyer to review? Most often is no. So the summary here is really saddening, right? The owner transition is very low score. The business transition readiness is also very low. The transaction readiness section is also very low. Actually, the lowest scoring section of them all, right? And the score here is actually E, as you can see here. Right? The score is E, meaning that there is a high risk. Exit is currently not viable. And that's really the reality we see with a lot of business owners across the US. When they come to us, we talk to them. Many business owners are trying to rush to sell. But as a former investment banker, I know most businesses are not ready to sell because most of them just sit on the Rolodex of their business broker or investment banker, right? And are not able to sell for 1, 2, 3 plus year, and they get taken off the market, but much doesn't change. And when they get sold, it's pennies on dollar. Why? Because they were not prepared for a sale. So what we do today is actually to help business owners begin preparing their business, right? We always tell people this: the sooner you begin, the better you position yourself and the firm to increase the likelihood of getting the outcomes you want, right? The price you want, the terms you want, and hopefully the timeline you want, right? And irrespective of what happens, whether life forces you or you willingly decide to exit, right? You are gonna be in the position of control and not reaction. So, my friends, I'm gonna stop here. We're almost at minute 15, right? I want to leave you with this. If you got anything from this short presentation, here's what I want you to do. Here's what I want you to remember. Preparation is the most important thing you can do for yourself. The same way it's hard to make an airplane, fly and then land, it's the same way it's challenging to land a business, right? Don't waste everything that took you years, if not decades, to build because you didn't know how to land your plane. Okay? I hope this was valuable to you. If it was, share with somebody who might benefit from this. If you need our help, we're here. Let us know. Send us an email, and I'll be more than happy to connect with you. Have a great rest of your day, and God bless.